Today I wanted to talk a little bit about change, because in the few months ahead there is going to be a lot of it coming up, both with Kerbal Space Program and this channel itself. The first bit of quote-unquote change is the gameplay in the background. This is one of the first gameplays even that I've recorded in 1.1, the pre-release of 1.1, since it was released a couple of days ago. It's still very buggy, especially in 64-bit. I've had quite a few crashes thus far, but I have been pleasantly surprised and really entertained actually at how well this thing runs. The performance updates have just been astronomically brilliant compared to what I was getting before, and it's just so nice to actually have Kerbal Space Program running smoothly and stably on my computer, because a lot of you guys know I do have kind of a subpar machine compared to what a lot of people have nowadays for Kerbal Space Program, and so having it run as smoothly and stably as it was here is just really nice to have. Also, the inflatable heat shield is really awesome, and I think if I get the gameplay correctly here, you'll be able to see me use it a little bit later on in this video. With the upcoming release of 1.1, Kerbal Space Program is going to be changing a lot. As pretty much all of you know, the game has changed engines, which is no small feat, and this is shown in the fact that 1.1 has taken almost a year to actually come out. Now, aside from all of the noticeable performance improvements, a lot of the back-end changes with regards to changing engines can't really be seen with the average player. They're more for sort of modders and for the developers to start adding in bigger and better content in future updates. And so this is where we start to see Kerbal Space Program to sort of almost grow up as a game. Scott Manley in his 1.1 preview did say that the game has matured, and I think that's a very good analogy. This is the start of Kerbal Space Program maturing and changing into a proper, fully functioning game now that it's left early access. And it should mean that we should start getting some really awesome features in future updates to come in the coming year, 2 years or so, which should hopefully make KSP feel more like a complete game, which personally I think is sorely needed. If you guys have been following the KSP community over the past sort of 6 months or so, I think it's around about 6 sort of months, popularity for the game, I don't know whether it's just been me, but popularity for the game seems to have started dying off a bit. Now, I think this is through a lack of things to actually do. A lot of stuff that's interesting in Kerbal Space Program, for the most part, has kind of been done. It's what I like to call Minecraft syndrome, in that when the game entered 1.0, it basically exploded, and loads of YouTube channels, both established in the Kerbal Space Program community and those that were up and coming, such as myself, kind of exploited every niche that the game had to offer. And so obviously with the back end and stuff and the delay in content, because the developers over at Squad have really been working hard to make sure that the Unity 5 release is a stable one, hence why it has taken so much time to get this close to release. And so due to this gap in content really, most of the stuff that's already been done in KSP has already been done, and so as a result popularity for the game is starting to wane somewhat. This can be seen in viewer statistics and everything on YouTube, and with the release of a new update and the promise of bigger, better content in the future, we can see this change in maturity for Kerbal Space Program starting to take shape. It's already come a long way from the days of 0.16 and 0.18, when the game was full of hilarious Kraken-like bugs and everything, and it's a much more stable and much more mature game than it was then. But this really does signal the start of a paradigm shift in the way that Kerbal Space Program is actually perceived as a game. I hope, anyway. Change is something that everyone will have to deal with at some point in their life, whether they like it or not. Some changes can be bad, some can be good, obviously, and some you're kind of forced to make and you're not sure whether they're good or bad in the short term and the long term, making them into a sort of stab in the dark type scenario. And with the release, and so therefore inherent change of Kerbal Space Program moving up to 1.1, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the changes that you're going to be seeing on this channel in the next few months to the rest of this year, depending on the time frame and when I actually get round to doing them. As many of you already know, I am an A-level student in my first year at college here in the UK. And although the silly new A-level has come in this year, some subjects, including geology, which I've taken, are still on the old format of A-level. This means that I have a proper AS exam coming up in May 16th, I believe my first one is, that actually counts towards my actual A-level itself. And so as a result, I will be concentrating on that, which may mean less videos over this coming month or two. I'll still be producing content at the usual rate for the moment, but around that sort of time, if content starts to decrease because I do have mock exams for other subjects as well, then there's the answer, just so that you guys get a heads up on that. But before I actually disappear off to actually do that sort of stuff, there are two main objectives that I want to complete. Firstly, I want to revamp the KSP News show somewhat. I've been using the same sort of background and format for over a year now, and I think from a lot of viewer comments and stuff like that, it's starting to become a little bit stale. I know it's certainly becoming a bit of a ball ache for me to start editing it because I do have a template for each episode, and so it's almost a chore to make those videos now. So I think by switching it up and creating a brand new set, a brand new intro, brand new outro, but keeping the sort of presentation format mostly the same, with a few more interactivity sort of elements into it, then I may be able to make things a lot more enjoyable, both for me to edit and for you guys to watch. The second objective that I'd like to achieve is at least to sort of get halfway through to at least have started the subscriber space station. As I said in my video Dust Storms on Juna that I released last week, I have got all the modules that have been submitted thus far integrated into my game and ready. But then, of course, the 1.1 pre-release came around, and I'm not sure if they'll work or not yet. They probably will, to be honest. In fact, yes, they will work. It's just I don't want to release them in the pre-release at the moment because I don't have any of my visual mods installed, because naturally they all broke as soon as I installed the 1.1 pre-release. So I'm going to wait for 1.1 to actually release for realsies this time, and for all the mods to update, which shouldn't take too long, to be honest. I may even change my texture pack. I am considering changing my texture pack to something that looks a little more up-to-date than the Astronomer's Visuals Interstellar that I currently use. So hopefully I will be able to get that started once 1.1 releases, or at least a couple of weeks after 1.1 has released, which should not be too long away now. I mean, if the pre-release is out now, it must just be the final last-minute bug fixes and stuff like that, and unless anything goes majorly wrong during those testing periods, I should expect it within the next couple of weeks to release. So hopefully I will have at least got that sort of started before I disappear off to exams. I'm halfway through the audio design of the Juna Wonders of the Kerbal System episode at the moment. Unfortunately, like I say, my mods broke, so I need to revert my save back to 1.05 and do a load of technical stuff to get everything working in a backup version of 1.05 so I can continue with the same texture pack to actually finish the series. I do think I'll continue filming in 1.05 for that, just simply because, well, I kind of need to in order to keep the same texture pack and everything. Otherwise it'll look all weird and everything. I'll change texture packs halfway through and it'll look all disjointed and horrible. So once I've got all that sorted, hopefully that will continue as normal, and I'll get one of those episodes out as and when I can. Looking into the future, and perhaps more towards mid to late summerish sort of time, I want to finish Operation Shamrock Dawn. I know, it's been so long since I've done an episode, and I will get that mission home, guys. If I have to do something amazing, even if I have to cheat, I will get that mission home eventually. But like I say, I want to wait for the release of 1.1 and for everything to die down, because Operation Shamrock Dawn takes a long ass time to make, and so I want to be clear of college and stuff like that to make sure that I've just got like the holidays or something just to get everything clear and ready to actually sit down and film, providing I have the motivation and everything, because I am a idiot when it comes to be actually motivating myself. See earlier videos for me explaining that. But I will bring that mission home, guys. I can promise you that. I will do that, even if it means we don't land on Lathe in the end. We will bring that mission home. Trust me. And I'll somehow write around it. I will. somehow. So that's pretty much all of my objectives that I can talk about at the moment anyway, that I want to achieve within the year. There is a collab thing that I'm sort of working on at the moment, which I don't want to reveal too much about because it is going to be pretty epic when it eventually releases, which probably won't be for another few months at least yet. But me and the people that are working on it are very, very proud of what we have so far, and I'm sure that you guys will enjoy it very, very much when it actually comes to light. One of my friends, the KSP designer, who I am working on it with at the moment, has released a trailer for it, and I'll release a sort of trailer thing when it comes closer to the actual release, so you guys can get a better idea of the final product. And I will link you the video in the description down below, as well as a link to the KSP designer's channel, because hey, Preston's a cool guy and I reckon you should go and subscribe to him because he does do some pretty awesome short films. But yeah, that's pretty much going to round it off for this episode, guys. I'm sorry it was kind of a bit dry on content. I know I went into one of my sort of preachy modes once again, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update, let you know what's going on with the channel, what will be happening in the next couple of months, because I feel like this channel does need a bit of a shake-up. Stuff has kind of gotten a little bit stale as of late, not just with KSP, but also with the sort of content on my channel. I've been feeling a bit bleh recently, sort of unmotivated and sort of, I need to drag myself to my computer and make a commentary because I don't know what to say or anything, but yeah, that's basically been me over the past couple of weeks or so. So hopefully you guys can understand, and hopefully I'll be back to my normal self very, very soon. I hope you guys are hyped for 1.1. It is very, very close now. And that's pretty much going to round it off for this video, guys. So if you did enjoy this video, please do remember to leave a like and of course subscribe for more awesome content in the future. My name is Bradders, and as always, guys, peace out.